A prong collar is designed to pinch the skin and then release at that perfect timing. I got to get the right size for myself. Hi, Jeff Frawley here with Leerburg. I want to talk a little bit today about prong collars and more importantly how to fit or how to properly fit a prong collar. Starting out with, there are a ton of different styles or types of prong collars out there on the market, and they are not all created equal. So we prefer Hermspringer. A Hermspringer prong collar is hands down the best prong collar available on the market. They are the industry standard bearer. There is no other prong collar out there that is better than a Hermspringer. The Hermspringers also come in a few different styles and different sizes. So we've got a few of them out here today. So they come in chrome as well as stainless steel. Ultimately, a stainless steel collar is going to be better than a chrome collar. Chrome collar is slightly less expensive, and some dogs are allergic to the nickel that's in the stainless steel, which would make you want to go to a chrome plated collar. Only really kind of, not the only, but really the downside of a chrome versus stainless steel is when you put prong collars together, you have to pinch right here so that they can go into the other side. The stainless steel are going to last a lot longer. They're going to last forever, whereas the chrome, after enough on and off and pinching, are going to start to get a little weak. They're going to start to bend. They're not going to hold together as well. We'll get into a little bit more of that in a minute, but that's really the big difference between the stainless steel and the chrome is the durability and how long they last. Also, along with stainless steel and chrome, Hermspringer offers a Kuragan prong collar, and this is a prong collar that is designed for the dogs that have that nickel allergy. So if your dog is wearing a stainless steel prong collar or fur saver and you start to notice an irritation around the dog's neck, odds are it's an allergy to nickel. It's a skin irritation. You should try a Kuragan prong collar rather than a stainless steel. Last but not least, on the Hermspringer side of things, we have these neck tech collars. The neck tech collars are nice because they don't come apart as easily, and as I said, I'm going to get into a little bit of them failing and them coming apart here in a little bit. But the neck tech ones stay together really well. It's actually super, well, not super hard, but it's not easy to get these things to come apart when you're adjusting the size. So that's a little bit about the Hermspringer prong collars. We also have micro prong collars. Micro prong collars are for your small toy-sized dogs, or some people like to use the micro prong collars in their obedience with their full-size dogs because you get, I guess, more pinch per inch would be the right term for that, but you have more prongs rather than a 4mm or an extra large prong collar like this on a big dog that has very few prongs. You're not getting as much pinching versus a micro or a small prong collar here that you're going to get a lot more prongs in the surface area. So that's why some people like to use the micro prongs for their larger dogs. We also have the keeper collar or the hidden prongs. These prongs are really great because the exact sizing does not matter quite as much. So rather than having to get that perfect fit, you have some wiggle room here with your ability to adjust the tab at the end that allows you to really kind of fine tune and get that perfect size. The one downside on the keeper collars is that they don't have as much flexibility. So when you're using just a standard prong here, the way that they work, when you apply pressure on the leash, they're going to tighten, and then the links come together, causing that pinching. So they're actually going to get a little bit of the skin, and they're going to cause that pinching. This also then allows for perfect timing in our corrections. When we release that pressure, the collar opens up, and the pinching is instantaneously released. So it allows for a perfect timing on your correction. Whereas in the hidden prongs, they're attached to this material, this leather and nylon material on the back that does not allow them to flex as well. So for taking my dogs on a walk, I would use a keeper collar or a hidden prong collar. They're great because you never have to worry about them failing. They come together with a snap here. We have another option with a leather tab and a buckle. The leather tab on the buckle offers you even more flexibility on your sizing because it's got 3 little holes there that you can adjust even better. But when prongs fail, they fail at the time when you need them the most. Generally when your dog is lunging at the end of the leash, trying to get at that other dog, and suddenly the prongs pop apart and your dog is free. With the keeper collar, the hidden prongs, that can't happen because there is no way for the prongs to come apart. It's attached at this buckle. You have a solid piece of material on the back that it's going to secure that collar onto your dog's neck. So the pros are the sizing is easy, and you don't have to worry about a backup collar. You don't have to worry about your prong failing. The downside is that they're not going to flex as much, so that timing for your obedience training is not going to be as perfect. But they both serve their applications. So that's a little bit about the keeper. Now, let's get into what this video is actually about, sizing our prong collars. So I've got Sunny here. I'm going to pull Sunny's Hermspringer prong collar. I've got a black one here to show you with Sunny. I've already got this sized correctly for Sunny, so we'll show you how it should look, and then I'm going to add some links and show you how it shouldn't look. So on Sunny, sit. We're going to come in here. Put the prong collar on. I'm going to then spin it around on his neck so it's facing the right way. I've got my tab back there where I would click my leash onto, and you can see that the prong is riding high up on his neck right at the base of the skull. This is where you want your prong collar to ride. This is what's going to get your most effectiveness out of the prong collar, is right at the base of the skull. So that's a little bit of what I was saying with the keeper collars are nice, where they have this ability to adjust the tab. Because on a regular prong, your only option is to add and remove links. So you really have to work in almost, Sunny, no, get back in your bed. You really have to work with almost 1-inch increments. So I'll go ahead and, I thought I had extra prongs for this, but we're just going to use a different one. I can show you what it would look like. So I've got this chrome one out here now that's a 4mm or an extra large. I'm going to put it on Sunny. This is an extreme exaggeration. But notice that's riding way down on his neck, obviously extreme. You're not going to get that pinching when it's all the way down there. Now, I doubt that anybody's going to go this big, but even a less drastic demonstration here, I'll take 2 links out. And this is probably more of what you commonly see with dogs that have improperly sized prongs, where, I mean, it kind of looks like it fits, but it's all the way down. You're not getting that pinching action that you would if it was up here at the base of the dog's neck. Dogs' necks are also tapered, which means that if you get it fit right, it should stay at the top of that neck and not slide down to the base of the neck. Now, to adjust them, you just saw me do it. It's really simple. You have prongs. You have basically a male end of the prong and a female end of the prong, and you can take out or add as many links as you want. We sell additional links for those dogs that have too big of necks. For the standard sizes, you can buy extra links. And basically, you pinch these together, you pinch the prongs together, and slide the male end into the female end here. Now that's another added benefit of the keeper collars or the hidden prongs. Get back, is that some people don't have the greatest dexterity in their fingers and struggle putting on and taking off a prong collar. You don't need a lot of dexterity, but you do need to have the ability to apply some pressure to pinch these together and then apply more pressure when you squeeze them together to get them back through. Whereas on something like the keeper collar, the hidden prong, you simply have a buckle. So if you don't have that strong dexterity in your fingers, go with one of these. It's too easy to take on and off. Same thing on these. Fits right at the base of the dog's neck, and I have this tab that I can adjust this with here to tighten it up, loosen it if I want to. That tab, though, you also don't want it too tight, because that on this is where your correction is applied, whereas it tightens the collar together. So the long story short of this entire video that you're watching right now is fit at the base of the dog's neck. I can't say that enough. You want a tight, snug fit right at the base of the dog's neck. One last thing to talk about quick, as far as the functionality and fit of a prong collar, is that if you're going to be using a standard prong collar, you should always use a backup. And as I said at the beginning, when a prong collar fails, it fails when you need it the most. When your dog is lunging down the street trying to get at the rabbit or get at the dog or whatever it is that's on the other end of that leash that they want, prong pops apart, suddenly your dog is free. How do you prevent that? Use a backup collar. So, we'll put the prong on Sunny here. Got my prong on him. I like to use a slip collar or dominant dog collar just because it's going to add that extra level of safety. You could use a flat collar if you want, but basically you're just going to put another larger collar down the dog's neck further, and now you have two separate collars. You can either hook these to the same leash if you're using an oversized dominant dog collar. If you're using a flat collar, you're not going to want to do that because then you're not going to get that correction or that right pull on the prong. But we have a solution for that as well in the form of a prong collar leash. So a prong collar leash has, get back, two tabs at the end. You've got a short tab that attaches to your prong collar and a longer tab that attaches to the backup collar. This way, when you apply the pressure on the leash, the short tab on the prong collar gets pulled, whereas the longer tab that's now on my backup collar does not have any pressure. So I can apply a correction to the prong that does not come on the other backup collar. This way, if you're walking your dog down the street, he's lunging at the end of the leash, prong fails, I still have positive control of my dog. So for a safety reason, I recommend utilizing a backup collar anytime you're using a prong. As I said, if you're using one of the keeper collars or the hidden prongs, that's not necessary because you basically have a built-in backup collar. Now, prong collars are an amazing, extremely useful tool that get a bad rap. I get it. They look kind of like some type of medieval torture device. However, that cannot be further from the truth. And any trainer out there that tries to tell you that prong collars are cruel and evil, they simply lack experience. They have not trained enough dogs to see a dog that needs a prong collar. They're probably under the purely positive camp who are notorious for giving up on dogs and having them put down rather than resort to a prong collar to simply train them to walk politely on the leash. I would much rather add a slight correction in the form of a pinch than have a dog that's going to drag somebody down the leash until the point where they're putting their dog down. So I could sit here and talk about the myths and dispel all the myths of prong collars. Again, that's not really what this video is about. All that I will say is that a prong collar is designed to pinch. Let's see, I'll even put one on. Let's see. A prong collar is designed to pinch the skin and then release at that perfect timing. I got to get the right size for myself. There we go. So, when I pull on this, I can feel the prongs coming together and pinching my skin. As soon as I release, that pressure's gone. Now, if you're allowing your dog to pull into the leash on a flat collar, that flat collar at the end of a leash can collapse the dog's trachea and cause permanent severe damage. Whereas a prong collar is not going to cause permanent severe damage. And if you're one of those people that is going to try to say, well, look at all these pictures of dogs with holes in their necks, don't leave your prong collar on 24 hours a day. It's a training tool. It's not designed to be left on your dog. If you leave a prong collar on your dog and your dog gets wet and then goes sits in the crate for 8 hours and this rubs, yes, it is going to cause some little sores on there. But it's not designed to be left on your dog. So again, a lot of those myths can easily be dispelled by simply utilizing the prong collar for its correct purpose. Anyways, I digress into all of that. as I said in the beginning, this video is about how to properly fit your prong and a few different types and styles of prongs. So high on the dog's neck so that it does not slide down. It will work effectively right at the base of the skull. It's easy to add and remove links, and you can purchase additional links for those dogs who have a larger neck than whatever size prong collar you choose to go with. Thank you.